Gunfire, gunfire, gunfire. Heads down.
Another night of horror has unfolded in Nigeria. Another community has been thrown into mourning. Another set of families shattered. Another group of innocent citizens buried because of violence. Because violence has once again taken over their land. This time the tragedy comes from Plateau State, where fear, bloodshed, grief, and chaos have consumed entire communities. And many Nigerians are now asking the same painful question: how many more people must die before something truly changes? According to the reports emerging from the affected communities, armed attackers, Fulani bandits, stormed villages during the night of May 5th, unleashing deadly violence on residents. During the attack, the list 7 Christians were reportedly killed, while several others sustained injuries. Survivors says homes were invaded suddenly, forcing families to flee into darkness as gunshots echoes across the area. Some of the injured victims were rushed to hospital for emergency treatment, but heartbreaking reports later emerged that a number of them allegedly died the following day from their wounds. The atmosphere across the affected communities has since been described as devastating, with fear, confusion, and mourning everywhere. Among the scenes now circulating online is the painful image of a grieving mother. A woman reportedly lost her only son during the attack. Witnesses say she held onto his lifeless body, crying uncontrollably, unable to process the horror of what had happened. According to her account, they had only just returned from church before the attackers invaded the community. Now, instead of celebrating life with her child, she is preparing to bury him. Moments like this are what many Nigerians say are becoming far too common. But the tragedy did not end there. The following day, community members gathered to carry out a mass burial for the victims who lost their lives in the previous night attack. As families mourned and prayers were being offered, reports claimed that the same armed men were seen positioned on the nearby mountains, watching the burial from a distance. Then suddenly, panic erupted again. According to witnesses, the attackers allegedly opened fire during the burial process, forcing mourners to flee for their lives in complete chaos. What was meant to be a moment of mourning and dignity turned into another desperate struggle for survival. Residents are now crying out for urgent government intervention. Many say these attackers are heavily armed and continue operating freely while local communities remain defenseless. There is growing frustration over what many describe as inadequate security presence and delayed response. Some citizens are openly questioning why these attacks continue repeatedly despite national promises to improve security. And while emotions continue to rise, discussions around the nature of this attack have become increasingly intense across the country. For many Nigerians, this is no longer just another headline. It is becoming a symbol of a deeper national crisis. A crisis where ordinary people fear for their life or their safety daily. Parents fear for their children. Families fear for their communities. Villagers fear for their night itself. And with every new attack, confidence in safety continues to weaken. The silence and slow response from authorities in moments like this often deepen public anger and emotional exhaustion. This is Naija, bringing you critical updates and voices from communities affected by insecurity across the nation. If you believe this story deserves national attention, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Now, Nigerians are asking difficult questions. How can communities continue living under this level of fear? What immediate action should authorities take to stop repeated attacks? And how many more innocent lives must be lost before lasting solutions are found? As families bury their loved ones and survivors struggle to heal, the nation watches, waits, and hopes that peace will one day return to these communities.